Did you see that ludicrous display last night? What was Wenger thinking sending Walker on that early? The thing about Arsenal is they always try to walk it in. Yes, of course, next up on YSTV Live is Soccerholics.
The show that talks about football all the way from Camp Nou to the campus. I'm joined by two amazing guests. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
I'm Zane, and I'm a Chelsea fan.
Oh, interesting. I'm Almira, and I'm really obsessed with like stuff in football that happened before I was born for some reason. And I'm not a very loyal fan, but I do have a soft spot for Arsenal, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. What was
Yeah, you had to bring me on with the rival.
Yeah, I just had to.
I'm surrounded I'm surrounded by Alps everywhere. My brother's a Tottenham fan. I don't know why. I mean, if you want to support the locals, fine. But like, they live close to Arsenal, but I also don't like Arsenal. But I don't know. It's a mess.
Fair enough. Well. I'm sure the rivalries will come out as we get into the game. So let's start off with on your headline. The rules are pretty simple. There's going to be a headline pop up, and you're going to have to finish it off. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So here's the first headline. Harry Kane's 7,200 hidden statue finally revealed, but...
It doesn't look like him.
I'm tempted to give you a point because it doesn't look like him, but there's a bigger but.
Nobody wants it?
Yeah. That is correct. It still doesn't have a home. So do you want to see a picture of the statue?
Yeah.
Here it is.
It's just like the Ronaldo one all over again.
It's okay. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So the council has decided to put that huge fund towards this statue. Originally, they were going to put it in the train station, but due to health and safety hazards, they decided not to include it. I mean, I don't know what's not.
I feel endangered if I go to the train station and I see this.
I mean, maybe it'll just make too many Arsenal fans angry if they go through the station, but I don't know. Anyway, we'll move on to the next headline.
I'd feel a bit sorry for him.
I'll give you 1 point for that, Almira, because you did come to our answer in the end.
Thanks.
Former Barcelona star admits he moved to club for a
Bet.
bet, not quite.
Hmm.
Almira, any guesses? It's Petit. I don't know if you remember Petit, Arsenal player. And Chelsea, or Spurs possibly. I think Chelsea as well, yeah.
Does it have to do with like a woman?
Oh my, you are on fire. You are on fire.
Oh, I was going to say girlfriend. But
Yeah, I do.
That is 2-0. Yeah, it was for a woman. He moved over there, married her, and then left and divorced her in 2 years. So, sad story. And then I think that's when he moved to Chelsea, actually, I think after that. But yeah, he just didn't get along with Pep at all, so moved away. We'll move on to our third and final headline. Someone has been promoted to the England national side after they had an England 21 call-up.
Kobe Mainu?
It is, in fact, Kobe Mainu. That is correct. This is the news that Kobe Mainu, he's in the senior England squad, which means that your senior England squad is definitely going to be changing. So as you can see here are the 25. Any shocks in there straight away?
I'll be honest with you, no.
No?
Maybe 2 years ago, I'd be surprised to see Maguire still starting, but I'm not. I kind of understand it. He is experienced, but the problem is that he doesn't play as much at club level to get the call up. So honestly, I'm not sure why the manager's not picking players based on fitness, but he does kind of have his favorites.
Henderson.
Yeah,
Always there.
Another one. I mean, he spent half the season out of Europe. I'm not sure why but again, that's another experienced player. But out of all I get it because he has his favorites, but at the same time, they are massively experienced, which is what we need. But
Yeah, I mean, so obviously Mainu's now here and he's not on this list, but he will be. They just haven't updated this yet.
Yeah.
Which we can see if we go there. There we are. So yeah, Kobe Mainu's there. I've also scribbled out a certain Bukayo Saka because he unfortunately had to leave camp due to injury fears. Almira, I hear you're a big Saka sympathizer. So.
I think it's a fake injury, just because it's an international break. It's just like friendlies, and Arsenal want to win the league, and he's very important. So I think Arteta is kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, Kobe Mainu.
Yeah, that happens a lot. It happened with Haaland, and yeah, it's like a strategy thing. Yeah.
Yeah, completely. But Kobe Mainu is in. come to the actual Euro squad, who would you like to see dropped? Who would you like to see in? Is there any names here that you think are sort of just a bit of an experiment?
I'd put honestly, I'd put Tomori in.
Okay.
Anyone else?
So if Tomori comes in, is that for Maguire, would you say?
Preferably, yes.
Yeah. I think the one thing about Tomori for me is his aerial duels, because I think when it comes to international tournaments, but I do agree he is class. He's really, really good, and I think he's completely overlooked because he is playing in Italy.
I mean, the thing is, right? I don't think Maguire's a bad player. I think he's decent. It's just that I think his time at United has not gone the way it's liked. And a lot really, he has not. It's not even that. It's just that he hasn't really been playing as much this season. And if he was playing a lot more, then I'd be like, okay, I'd understand it. I wouldn't really change much in the defense because I think that's the best the defense can offer at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of anywhere else, I can't complain that much. I personally felt the call up was too soon for Mainu because he's still very young, and I wouldn't want to hype up a player that quickly. But
yeah,
I think the only person I guess there that I'm quite surprised to see called up is Rashford. But
I mean, as a City fan, I completely agree. But anyway, we'll move on to another big miss that I saw was Calvin Phillips, obviously England's Player of the Year. Was it 2022? After that, Euros performance was really, really good. And also Ben White. So Ben White has actually rejected England. England haven't rejected him.
Yeah.
So we'll have a look and see what Gareth Southgate has to say about this on our video. Let's have a look.
Form, I can't sit here and say he doesn't deserve to be in. John McDermott, had a call from Edu last week to say that Ben didn't want to be considered for England squads at this time. For me, that's a great shame. He's a player I really like. He's a player that we took to a Euros when he was at Brighton, a player that we took to the World Cup. I spoke to him post-Qatar because I was keen to pick him, and there was clearly reticence on his side. I don't know fully why that is, but I have to respect that. I want to leave the door open for him because he's a good player, and I think he's a player that can make a difference for England. But he's not available to us. And so the only other thing I would say is there is no issue between us at all.
Well, there you heard it. I mean, Southgate obviously seems quite upset that Ben White has rejected him. And it just feels like such a weird time to see that England are struggling to find sort of a competent right back to take to this friendly. Because, I mean, Kyle Walker, obviously, I believe is very confident, but, you know, he's aging now. He's not at his best season. Reece James is, well, he's Reece James. I'm sure you share some frustration about that. But yeah, what do we make of this, Ben White? Any ideas of why?
I think he's a bit salty because in the past he wasn't really called up, and now he finally is. And he's also quite a peculiar player. He's like, I don't watch football, like I just played kind of thing. And they don't get paid for like national team stuff usually, and it's like he's more of like on the practical side of things. So.
Yeah, I think they get compensation, but for a friendly like this, they wouldn't really get like a pay. And yeah, it's very true. Like he's very much like Gareth Bale. Remember when he was saying like, you know, golf over football and all that. He doesn't really like football.
Yeah, he doesn't like watching it. Yeah, funny.
It's so strange. But who do you think should be our right back for Euros if you would say anyone?
It's a tough one because I feel for Reece, but he's too injury prone at the moment. Trent, I mean, I guess the other option is Trent, but Reece need tend to play more in like midfield at times, which could be useful. I still think that, I'd have to go for Trent. Trippier's not having his best season at the moment, so Trent.
Yeah, fair enough. Almira, say.
Yeah, I think but I would have Trent, because I would have Foden in midfield instead. So
Okay, no, fair enough. Anyway, we'll move on to the dream team. So when I was I always say this every single time just to make it clear, but when I was pitching this show for YSTV, I understood that not everyone likes football. especially not in YSTV. So I thought I'd make Dream Team. And Dream Team is a way of making football accessible to people who dislike football, which is, I suppose, a weird concept, but hopefully it's worked. So anyway, we're going to call Erin to the sofa. Here is Erin. And you guys have pitched 2 players. Well, you will pitch 2 players to Erin, and Erin, you have to decide who makes the Dream Team.
Okay.
For each player pitched, you get a point. So far, Zayn, you have 1, and Almira, you have 2. So you got some making up to do, but it's fine. You got time. Don't worry. This is the Dream Team so far.
Oh,
As you can-
wow.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my God.
We're filling up.
Yeah.
Lots of Arsenal.
Last episode, Ollie Watkins and Martin Odegaard got added. Any takes on this Dream Team so far, guys?
Really great.
Good option in
Yeah.
goal control. Good option in goal. Creative in the fullback position.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Good physicality. Strong.
We'll move on to some picks then. To start off, Zayn, we've got your pick. Who is this, and why should they be in the Dream Team?
So this is a Brazilian winger named Gabriel Martinelli, and he plays for Arsenal, who are currently top of the league at the moment. And he, for the last 3 seasons, has been very big for them. He scores important goals, and he's very, very quick, intelligent. He dribbles past players very quickly. He's very difficult to predict. Past player.
Move on to Almira's pick.
A good pitch.
Who is this, Almira?
This is Heung-min Son, and he plays for Tottenham Hotspur, and he's their captain now, I believe, and he's a bit more. He's 31, but that means a lot of experience. He's a good leader. So besides being a great player who scores lots of goals, he's his team's top scorer. He's also really good, like mentality-wise. So he brings that side to the team as well. So you don't just have like technicality, also mentality.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 excellent pitches.
Yeah.
Any questions before you jump to your conclusion?
I want to know about this guy's mentality
Okay.
because I feel like that's important. It's good to mention that.
Yeah, so at a very young age, now he's 22 or 23 now.
22, I think, yeah.
And he's already been called up to the national team. He's very at the moment. He's mainly football in the mindset is just about winning. Really, anything else isn't really acceptable at that point. And they've come through so much. I mean, I think he came in when he was 19. They finished 8th twice, then 5th, and then 2nd, and now they're in a title race. So there's a huge factor of resilience and a lot they've learned over the last 3 years. So I'd say.
What are we thinking?
Cogs turning. Do I make a decision now?
Yeah, if there's any more questions, whatever. If you feel ready to make your decision.
If they ran at each other, who would win?
Well, as in speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
Or in a
fast?
fight. This sounds quite.
I can't lie.
Say Martinelli at that point.
Yeah, no, that's all my questions.
Fair enough. Well, who are you going to go for? Is it who?
I'm not gonna lie, I think Alm's pick.
Okay.
He seems to just like be. I mean, it might be team captain sort of energy, but I like the vibes he's given. So based on vibes alone.
Yeah, everyone loves him.
That's exactly what Corey said when they did it. Just vibes. Yeah. We'll move on to the right wing.
Yes, so this is a 21-year-old English winger named Cole Palmer, who he signed this season for a lot of money. So there was a lot of pressure there. He hadn't played that many games for Manchester City, who are the best team in the world at the moment, unfortunately. But but we needed the right winger, and despite him being very inexperienced, he has a lot of talent, very intelligent. He scored quite a lot of goals so far. He has, I think, 24 goal contributions this season, and he's very good, dribbles very well. He's very confident, cool, calm, collected. And he just vibes as well, to be honest.
Just vibes.
Yeah, just very good vibes.
Love that.
Just vibes.
Now, we'll move on to Almira's pick.
This is Bukayo Saka, who plays for Arsenal and the English national team. He's 22, I believe, yes. Really young, star boy, has been great in the past, also has a super promising future. He is his team's top scorer and top assist maker, and his team is number 1 in the league, so that tells you a lot. Vibes too. everyone loves him because he's like our son. Yeah, you just want him to succeed, and he's kind of consistent, and he plays a lot. He always plays 90 minutes, and he's so young and also not injury prone despite what's going on now. Which
The fake injury, maybe. Yeah.
fake injury, but yeah, usually he doesn't get injured, so you can rely on him. Yeah, you can rely on him. He'll always be there, always provide, always. If he doesn't score, he assists. Yeah.
What are we thinking?
I want to know who scored the most goals out of both of them.
I believe Saka. I think he scored 13 in the Prem.
Yeah, and I think Palmer's on 11 at the moment.
Palmer's got. Has he got 5 penalties?
I think 4 of them.
But, okay, yeah.
But there's a lot of pressure to take a penalty, and he's carrying his team at the moment. So,
But we must bear in mind that Arsenal are top of the league,
Yes.
whereas Chelsea are 9.
Yeah.
Real 11.
11. Oh god,
Yeah.
worse than 4.
He's
So-
carrying us at the moment. He's carrying.
Yeah, so that might add a little because it is harder to score in a worse team. You could argue.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
Then you could also say, well, he can't be that good if he's.
Yeah,
So
and,
it's
you know, if you're carrying your team and you're sort of top of the league, I'm sort of inclined to go with Elms again.
that is very.
Sorry, Zane.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
I think that is. I mean, one thing that I will say about Cole Palmer is that my friend used to sit next to him in French lessons.
What?
Yeah, he's from Manchester. So, yeah.
Law.
he was just around.
Was he good at French?
No, he was.
Oh, well, there we
yeah,
go,
he was
no.
awful, and apparently he wasn't very nice either. So
Oh.
I think.
Yeah, good job.
Obviously, saying you didn't know that inside scoop, but I think maybe
Based on
Erin,
French ability.
the moral friend
The
of
power of friendship.
the moral decision was made. Anyway, we'll move on to the scores on the doors. Almira, you got 4, and Zane.
Yeah,
You're
more
responsible.
catching
You only
up.
got
More
one.
catching up
So
to do.
sorry.
More catching up to do.
Yeah, I mean, it reflects the league table as well. You know, Chelsea lacking behind and Arsenal sprinted to the front. But finally,
this is not good for my morale.
before we end today, we have one more thing to discuss, and that is our new section of the show, Hot Takes.
Ooh.
So I asked last time if someone could leave a comment about any sort of hot take
This
that
is
they
recent.
had. Yeah,
This is very hot off the press.
This was very, very hot. This is coming today from a contributor who didn't want to be named. But here we go. This is a hot take. So it says, rating players by trophies won is the stupidest thing in the world, as it completely avoids any kind of context or thinking for yourself. Sami Khedira was very good, but you're trying to tell me he was better than the likes of Francesco Totti and Steven Gerrard?
I agree with that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I understand it if you do it for managers, but we judge players based off of like how they just look on the ball. So you could be, because if you're on the bench, Sami Khedira wasn't really a bench player; he was actually quite underrated. But if you're on the bench and your team's winning trophies, you get a medal for that. So technically, you've won that too. So you might. So even if you've not played, you'd still technically have won that trophy. So yeah, I actually agree with what he's saying here.
Okay, fair enough.
Completely.
Erin, is it worth me asking what your thoughts are? Okay, how about this? Do you know either Sami Khedira, Francesco Totti, or Steven Gerrard?
Yes, but not
Okay.
enough about
That's
them to. It's a start. That's also the end. But I think, I do agree with that. I think as a more nuanced take, like you can be on the bench for the whole match and then your team wins. But also vibes.
Yeah, vibes. I mean, fair point. Almira, any last thoughts on this?
And if you are a loyal player, like loyal to your team, and your team isn't the best team, like Totti was with Roma. I mean, Roma is a good team, but not like one of the greats, Of course, you care more about your team than about winning trophies. And I mean, Harry Kane was like that with Spurs, and now he's unlucky at Bayern. But, he scored so many goals, but he doesn't win trophies. It's weird. He really is a great player, but nothing to show for it, yeah.
Very unlucky.
Anyway, well, thank you for reacting to that hot take. I think that was some really, really good insight. Almira, congratulations on your win. Erin,
Thanks.
thank you for coming on.
Of course.
Hopefully you learned something. Maybe.
yeah.
Vibes. But yeah, thank you so much for watching Soccerholics, and we'll see you next time. Don't be afraid to leave a hot take under the video. Thank you very much.